Last year at NAMM, at this very spot, I had the great pleasure and honor of being able to be the first one to introduce the Apollo to bewildered crowds. Okay? So what's so special about the Apollo? What's special about the Apollo is that it's a high-resolution audio interface with built-in DSP. It was the first of its kind. Of course, the sound quality is amazing. It works on Mac. It works on Windows 7. Its claim to fame, the thing that really changed the game for all audio interfaces, is that it has low latency tracking through plugins. Okay? So you can now record your human beings in real time through the Apollo with plugins and shape your sounds in real time. And it's in a portable interface, which is great. Halfway through the year, they introduced this Thunderbolt interface. Who knows what Thunderbolt is? Thunderbolt is the new FireWire, basically. Thunderbolt is a really high-speed protocol to exchange data between a computer and an interface, or a hard drive, or a screen, or whatever. So they introduced the first ever Thunderbolt interface for an audio interface, so they had the first Thunderbolt audio interface. Something that's very special about the UAD Thunderbolt interface is that it's dual port, which means it's never the last one. It doesn't have to be the last one in the line, so you can always plug something else. And they took advantage of that. The big advantage they took of that is this. Starting this year, you can cascade multi-units with the Apollo. So this rig is two Apollos working together as one. Okay? Two Apollos working together as one. So what's the point of that? Well, with two Apollo as one, you now have 8 mic pre's. You have 28 inputs and outputs, 16 line ins and outs. You have twice the DSP. And you can do all that with a laptop. And it's an incredibly powerful system. All right, so with new hardware comes new software. You can work with the Apollo. This is the new look of the console. You'll notice, for those of you who have an Apollo, you'll notice that the sands are much easier and neater to use. It's very nice. Everything else is kind of the same. The thing that's new, though, is the mixed merge mode. Mixed merge means that you can use both together, and they all come up in one console. So you notice here is the 4 mic pre's for the top one, and here are the 4 mic pre's for the bottom one, and all the line ins and outs, and all condensed in one console. So that's all rocking. Enough chatting. Let's make some music. First thing is I have this session. This session is from Banda Magda's record, which I just finished at my studio. It's the actual session from the actual record. What we have right now is we have about 60 tracks. You can see them here, and a whole bunch of plugins. So right now it's 60 tracks and probably, I don't know, 50 plugins. And you can see the DSP is at 12% right here. And if you look at the UA DSP, we are at 29%. When you record with human beings, they have this thing where they want to hear themselves and they want it to feel good, right? And it's very difficult when you have big sessions because big sessions have big latency. But now with the Apollo has a no latency recording system. Let me show you. Nacho, come make some guitar. Record some guitar for me. So I'm going to put the guitar in record, and I'm going to switch back to my console. And what we're going to do is we're going to make some music with Nacho in real time. So a little bit of gain. That sounds great. Now, friends don't let friends record guitars direct. So what do you do in these conditions? Well, you use a brand new Softube Vintage Amp Room plugin. What does that do for you? I mean, not ideal for Magda's music. Maybe we'll use a Fender instead. Notice that I can move the microphone. Is that crazy? Let's try the AC30. That's maybe less gain. That's nice. And maybe I'll make it a little fatter by adding the new API 550. That's cool. Maybe I'll compress a little bit. I don't know if you're noticing, but I'm adding plugins on him while he's playing, shaping his sound without having to interrupt him. And it's all real time, and there's no latency. Is that fantastic? I like this. This is good enough for jazz, right? Okay, great. So notice that with these plugins in real time, this has become a guitar recording system, not just an audio interface. You can just plug Hi-Z in the front, go through the plugins, and make a decent recording. So let's record this from the top. sound. It's good. Cool. So of course we can listen to it right away. I don't know if you notice how integrated and easy it is. I make my tone just like I would with hardware. I put on record, I press play, and now I can listen to it in solo. Here we go. Right in the track. And I probably, when I mix this, not going to change much about this sound because I already shaped the sound on the way in, the way I like it to be. Old school. Sounds good. Okay, great, sold. So we had 60 tracks right now and about 50 plugins. This song actually was recorded and has a whole string section on it that we went to Avatar to record a few weeks ago. And since we're poor, we couldn't hire a whole orchestra, so we hired a quartet, and we recorded the quartet 7 times. And so consequently, the strings is 60 tracks. So I'm now running 120 track session, and I just so happen to like high-pass filters and the Cambridge EQ, so I'm running also 60 plugins on top. So now we are in the 94, 96 plugin range and 120 tracks. Let me show you how I recorded these strings, because I recorded everything at Avatar in C, but with the Apollos. So we used a pair of Coles for the near room and a pair of Shops for the far room, a bunch of 86s on a violin, 1, 2, and viola, and then an 87 on the cello. But everything was recorded with my laptop and a pair of Apollos working as a system. I used the built-in preamps, 8 preamps, and then I used the built-in Q system to feed everything to the string players and to Magda, because Magda was doing her own direction, and to myself. So basically this entire thing was done at Avatar, but with this stuff. I didn't use the console, didn't use anything. Everything was organized, so we were completely ancillary to ourselves in the room, which is pretty cool. So let me show you something. None of this makes any sense unless it sounds good, right? Okay, so let me show you the tone of these plugins. Well, we know the tone of the converters are great. One of UA's big claim to fame is that their plugin emulations are fantastic. So let's look at that. I just showed you the Softube vintage amp room, and I showed you the API 550. They also just spent quite a bit of time re-emulating the LA2. So what I have here is I have an original 60s LA2, okay? Which is the best, one of the best compressors to track vocals with. And here I have the plugin version, which is a model of that one. So I propose we compare. Fair enough? Okay. So how am I going to compare? This new feature in the new software called Pro Tools mode, which you wouldn't believe, but it's designed for Pro Tools. Unbelievable. So the Pro Tools mode lets you, the UA Apollo, talk to Pro Tools very neatly. One of the features that are great is you can now use the converters here to do I/O inserts, meaning you can use the Apollo converter to feed whatever signal you want to the hardware you want to use, in this case in the LA2, and then feed that back, and you see it's inserted on the track right here. It says insert 5. So you're really going to be able to use this compressor as a plugin using this clever little trick. So if I go on the chorus and I solo the vocal. Okay, that was the hardware. This is the software. This is not subtle compression, as you can see. Software, hardware. Software. Hardware. Software. Hardware. Software. Hardware. Hardware. They sound the same. Is that ridiculous? It's ridiculous. I'm changing from word to word from a piece of 40, 50-year-old hardware and a brand new plugin, and it sounds the same. Let's try and record Magda through an LA2. So I'm going to go back to the console and give some gain on Magda's microphone. Up there, about 40 dBs. Are you there? Caramel. Lily Q. Compression.
Maman, je veux du caramel. Aimez-moi, donne-moi ton caramel.
That sounds good.
Donne-moi, donne-moi,
High
donne-moi,
pass
je veux du caramel.
Nice.
que
A little
l'eau sur ton
brightness.
corps fait du caramel.
Little fat at the bottom.
À moi, je veux du caramel. Aime-moi,
Some reverb.
donne-moi ton caramel. Donne-moi, donne-moi, donne-moi.
Let's record the top of the song. Can you play Nacho too? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Caramel, donne-moi, donne-moi ton caramel. Caramel, donne-moi, donne-moi ton caramel. Fondant, fondant dans ta bouche, j'adore tes lèvres sucrées, je meurs de te goûter. Je tremble quand tu me touches, dans ta bouche fond des caramels.
All right, so I think it sounds great in the track too, right? It sounds really, really wonderful. Now, while Magda puts her accordion on, I'm going to remind you what we're looking at right now. What we're looking at right now is a 140 track session with 120 plus plugins at a buffer of 1024, with, on top of all that, recording 2 human beings in real time with 4, 5, 6, 5 plugins, 6 with the EMT play. All at once, all on a laptop, and it works flawlessly. Why don't we add full resolution video on top of everything? So this is an HD video that's going to run, that we shot while we're recording the strings, so you guys get to see the string session without you'd like that. So we shot the video while we were recording the strings. We have 140 tracks. We have 120, 130 plugins. We have Magda and Nacho recording in real time through plugins, and that's all at 88K, just because we can. All right, here we go. Music.
Caramel, donne-moi, donne-moi ton caramel. Caramel, donne-moi, donne-moi ton caramel. Fondant, fondant dans ta bouche, j'adore tes lèvres sucrées, je meurs de te goûter. Je tremble quand tu me touches, dans ta bouche fond des caramels. Caramel, donne-moi, donne-moi ton caramel. Caramel, donne-moi, donne-moi ton caramel. Croquant, croquant sous la dent, j'adore sentir ta voix qui élève inconsciemment sur mon corps ce désir pour ton corps fait des caramels. Donne-moi, 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 je veux du caramel. Que l'un sur ton corps fait des caramels. À moi, je veux du caramel. Aime-moi, donne-moi ton caramel. Donne-moi, 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 je veux du caramel. Que l'un sur ton corps fait des caramels. À moi, je veux du caramel. Aime-moi, donnez-moi ton caramel. Caramel, donne-moi, donne-moi ton caramel. Croquant, croquant sous la dent, j'adore sentir ta voix qui élève inconsciemment sur mon corps ce désir pour ton corps fait des caramels. Donne-moi, 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 je veux du caramel. Que l'un sur ton corps fait des caramels. À moi, je veux du caramel. Aimez-moi, donnez-moi ton caramel. Donne-moi, 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 je veux du caramel. Que l'un sur ton corps fait des caramels. À moi, je veux du caramel.
Magda and Nacho. Thank you so much. That sounded beautiful. Very, very nice. And of course, the Universal Audio Apollo recording system.